Okay, good afternoon everyone. Now welcome to this class. Last meeting we already discussed about unknown vocabulary, and now the next chapter we will discuss about how to get the main idea. Well, actually, based on the books that given to you, there are a lot of questions, a lot of comprehensive questions that you can answer. But now I will give you some explanation, a little explanation about main ideas. First, first of all, main ideas is the main idea of paragraph is the point of passage minus all the details. It's a big picture. The main idea is what you tell someone when they ask what you did last weekend. For example, if someone asks you what you did last weekend, you will tell them that I went to the mall instead of saying I got in my car and drove to the mall. After I found a parking space near the main entrance, I went on inside and got a coffee at Starbucks. Then I went into several shoe stores looking for a new pair of kicks to wear next weekend when we go to the beach. I found them at Aldo's, but I tried on short for the next hour because I realized mine were all too small. So when someone asks you about what did you do last weekend, you only tell them where did you go. For example, what did you do last Sunday? You're gonna tell them that I went to the zoo instead of saying that you say the preparation of your weekend or what happened during the zoo. You just tell them the big point. You went to the zoo. So in other words, main ideas is the brief, but all-encompassing summary. It covers everything the paragraph talks about, but nothing in particular. So there is a strategy how to find the main ideas. First, read the passage of text. Jadi baca dulu semuanya, kemudian ask this question to yourself. What is this passage mostly about? And 3. In your own words, explain the answers in a short sentence. Do not include details or examples from the text. Do not extend your ideas beyond what is written in the text. Even if you know a ton about the topic, it doesn't matter for this exercise. And 4. Look for a sentence in the text that most closely fits with your brief summary. So when you're looking for the main ideas, there are two types. There are inductive and deductive. It's also similar with Bahasa Indonesia. When you learn about ide pokok, it usually put the first sentence or in the last sentences, or the writer will put all the main ideas through the passage. So the only way to find the main ideas is you have to reach all the paragraph. And also parts of paragraph. There are topic sentence. The sentence tells the reader the main idea of what the paragraph will be about. And there are supporting sentence 1. The sentence gives specific details relating to the main ideas. And next, supporting sentence 2. The sentence gives another specific detail relating to the main idea. And supporting sentence 3, this sentence gives more specific details relating to the main idea. And concluding sentence, this sentence refers to the topic sentence and sums up the main idea of the paragraph. So in a paragraph, it consists of topic sentence and supporting sentences. So you have to find when you find the main idea, you will find the topic sentence. It is very important for you to memorize, to recognize which is the topic sentence of the text. So the next slide, we will have some exercises. Look, exercise 1, let me read for you. A penny for your thoughts. If it's a 1943 copper penny, it could be worth as much as $50,000. In 1943, most pennies were made out of steel since copper was needed for World War II. So, the 1943 copper penny is ultra rare. Another rarity is the 1955 double die penny. These pennies were mistakenly double stamped, so they have overlapping dates and letters. If it's uncirculated, it's easily fetched $25 at an auction. Now that's a pretty penny. So, if we read this, we can conclude what is the main idea. What is the main ideas of this sentence? Look, it's talk about from the first sentence. If it is 1943 copper penny, it could be worth as much as $50,000 first. And the next one, most pennies were made out of steel since copper was needed for World War II. So in the 1943 copper penny is ultra rare. It's discussed about copper penny is ultra rare, and the next one is double die penny. So we can summarize, we can sum up that the main idea of this paragraph is about rare and valuable pennies. Next one, exercise 2, let me read for you. Before you put on the Angry Birds costume and house yourself roving from door to door pandering for candy, take a minute to reflect on the tradition in which you are taking part. Halloween is believed to have come from an ancient Celtic festival dating back some 2000 years. November 1st was Celtic New Year and marked the end of summer in the south, so they have celebrated on its eve by wearing costumes made of animal skins and dancing around bonfires. Over the next 2 millennia, this primitive celebration grew to be candy-filled costume ball that we know today. So let us see what is the main idea of this paragraph. Look from the first sentence. The first sentence, the look of this sentence. Take a minute to reflect on the tradition in which you are taking part. It's talking about what tradition. And the next sentence is, Halloween is believed to have come from an ancient Celtic festival dating back some 2000 years. So this is the topic sentence, and the rest of the sentence is supporting statement. So it talks about the origin of Halloween. And the next one, exercise 3. When one hears the term reality applied to a television show, one might expect that the events portrayed occurred naturally or at least were not scripted, but this is not always the case. Many reality shows occur in unreal environments, like rented mansion occupied by film crews. Such living environments do not reflect what most people understand to be reality. Worse, there have been accusations that events not captured on film were rather restaged by producers. Worse still, some involved in the production of reality television claim that the participants were urged to act out storylines premeditated by producers, with such accusations floating around. It is no wonder many people take reality TV to be about as real as the sitcom. Okay, before we discuss this, I give you 1 minute to read the spec first to understand some difficult word if you find it. And what is the main idea of this paragraph? Can you find the main sentence? Let me highlight it for you. Yeah, good. Many reality shows occur in unreal environment. So the main idea of this paragraph is many reality shows occur in unreal environments. Next, number 8, exercise 4. It is estimated that over 20 million pounds of candy corn are sold in the US each year. Raj, the top manufacturer, sells enough candy corn to recycle the earth 4.25 times if each piece were laid end to end. That's a lot of candy corn, but that's nothing compared to Tootsie Roll production, where 64 million Tootsie Rolls are produced every day. But even Tootsie Roll have got nothing. The candies industry, staple product chocolate, confectioners manufacture over 20 billion pounds of chocolate in the United States each year. Now, that's a mouthful. So, what is the main idea of this paragraph? Can you find what is the topic sentence? This paragraph explains about how much candies produced each year based from different brands. So, this paragraph, the main idea of this paragraph is how much popular candies produced each year. Next, exercise 5. Search. When a driver pushes on the brake pedal, it initiates a process that causes the vehicle to stop in motion. You literally trust automatic braking system with your life every time you get into vehicle on cross at a busy intersection. But how does this process work? It begins when the pedal is pushed. At this moment, brake fluid is released into the area where the braking mechanism are. As the fluid collects, this creates a leverage which causes a friction to be applied. If the braking system is functioning properly, this friction will create a force that will cause the wheels to stop and allow you to reach your destination safely. Can you guess what is the main idea of this paragraph? Yeah, good. The main idea of this paragraph is how a braking system functions on automobile. Good. The last PowerPoint. It is important to be remembered that every paragraph has a topic, and every paragraph has a main topic. Then, when an author includes a sentence in a paragraph, that tells his or her most important point about the topic, that sentence is called the stated main idea sentence. So in every paragraph, it always have their own main idea. And another sentence that following the main idea is supportive sentence. But this is the problem of foreign language learner when we try to understand some passage or reading passage. It's not about the strategy itself, but it's about the language. Even more, you have a lot of strategy in reading, but if you don't understand the meaning, you cannot get the point. So in this case, I really encourage you to have dictionary, since all of you are students of English literature. At least you have to, you must have these two types of dictionary. First, English to English dictionary and English to Indonesian dictionary. I will give you some example of dictionary that I always use. Jadi kemarin saya sudah memberikan file ini ke beberapa teman. Untuk teman-teman yang belum memiliki kamus ini, nanti bisa minta filenya ke teman-teman yang lain ya. For example, this word, throughout. Di sini, they also provide how to pronounce throughout and also the meaning in English also. And also this dictionary also give you some exercises. You can have some English exercise, for example, grammar, adjective. This is very useful. If you have spare time, you can use it as exercise to improve your skills. And also, last week I upload on your Facebook group about our assignment. Since the academic told me that at least every tutor must give students 3 assignments, I give you the minimum one because I want to help you. So this is assignment from this semester, and since I believe that all of you already passed the 3 classes of reading, you must gain a lot of knowledge from the previous classes. Now it's time to incorporate your schemata into practices, and there will be no task from me. I just give you 3 assignments. You must write summary papers in this semester. Here I attach the format of paper. So this is the format of the paper. First, reference. Do you know how to write reference? Okay, I will show you later. And summary. Please remember that if you write summary, you have to read all of the passage and create your own word. Use paraphrasing. Do you know the term paraphrase? Okay, let me show you what is paraphrase. Paraphrase is word. Jadi dalam bahasa Indonesia, Paraphrase itu parafrase. Jadi kalau mbak-mbak belum tahu paraphrase itu apa, bentar. Nah, nanti kalau misalnya nggak tahu apa, biasakanlah menggunakan teknologi. Saya selalu, misalnya saya nggak tahu apa, the method of paraphrase ini ada banyak cara untuk melakukan paraphrase. Contohnya, jadi kebanyakan kesalahannya kalau membuat summary itu adalah mencomot-comot kalimat kemudian ditulis. Nah, itu namanya plagiarism. That's not good. Nah, bagaimana caranya paraphrase? Here. When reading a passage, try first to understand it as a whole rather than pausing to write down specific ideas or phrases. Jadi pahami dulu secara keseluruhan. Kemudian, be selective. Unless your assignment is to do a formal or literal paraphrase, you usually don't need to paraphrase an entire passage. Instead, choose and summarize the material that helps you make a point in your paper. 3. Think of what your own words would be if you were telling someone who is unfamiliar with your subject. So, bisa dibayangkan, jadi ketika paraphrase ini, gunakan kalimat-kalimat yang itu kalimat Anda sendiri, yang Anda familiar dengan kalimat itu. Misal kalau setelah saya baca satu teks ini, dan kalau saya mau menceritakan ulang ke teman saya yang tidak tahu materi ini, saya akan menggunakan kosakata yang lebih mudah. Nah, itu cara gampang membuat paraphrase. And 4. Remember that you can use direct quotation or of paraphrases from the original within your paraphrase, and that you don't need to change or put quotation marks. For example, method of paraphrasing: look away from the source then write. Ini adalah read the text you want to paraphrase several times until you feel that you understand it and you can use it your own words to restate it to someone else. Then look away from the original and rewrite the text in your own words. So the main point of paraphrase is writing with your own words. And it is important to take notes. Take abbreviated notes, set the notes aside, then paraphrase from the notes a day or so later, so when you draft. If you find you can't do A or B, this may mean that you don't understand the passage completely, and that you need to use a more structured process until you have more experience in paraphrasing. The method below is not only a way to create a paraphrase, but also a way to understand difficult text. You also can find paraphrasing difficult text. Consider the following passage from Love and Toil, a book on motherhood in London from 1870 to 1918, in which the author Alan Ross puts forth one of the major arguments. Bentoil maintains that family survival was the mother's main charge among the large majority of London's population who were poor or working class. The emotional and intellectual nurture of her child or children, and even their actual comfort were forced into background. To mother was to work for an organized household subsistence. Nah, ini caranya. Yang pertama, change the structure. First, begin by starting at a different place in the passage and/or sentence, basing your choice on the focus of your paper. This will lead naturally to some changes in wording. Some places you might start in the passage above are the mother's main charge, among the poor or working class, working for an organizing household subsistence, or the emotional and intellectual nurture. Or you could begin with one of the people passage is about mothers, a mother, children, child. Focusing on specific people rather than abstraction will make your paraphrase more readable. Sorry, let me continue. At this stage, you might also break up long sentences, combine short ones, expand paraphrases for clarity, or shorten them for conciseness, or you might do this in additional steps. In this process, you'll naturally eliminate some words and change others. Here's one of the many ways you might get started with the paraphrase of the passage above by changing its structure. In this case, the focus of the paper is the effect of economic status on children at the turn of century. So the writer begins with children. Jadi ketika kita membuat paraphrase, kita bisa mengubah strukturnya. Kalau misalnya dalam kalimat tadi kan poinnya adalah dari sisi ibu, bagaimana seorang ibu merawat anak-anaknya dalam kondisi ekonomi yang lemah. Nah sekarang fokusnya berubah jadi anak-anak, jadi anak-anak yang dirawat oleh ibu. Ini hasilnya. Children of the poor at turn of the century received little if any emotional or intellectual nurturing from their mothers, whose main charge was family survival. Working for an organizing household subsistence were what defined mothering. Next to this, even the children's basic comfort was forced into the background. Nah, jadi ini salah satu metode dari paraphrase. Kalimatnya sangat sama sekali berbeda, tapi intinya tetap sama. Jadi kata lain paraphrase itu kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia menceritakan hal yang sama dengan bahasa Anda sendiri. Nah, kalau begitu, yang dibutuhkan dalam paraphrase, dalam skills that you need in paraphrase is vocabulary mastery. It is also related with our previous subject. Last week, we talked about unknown vocabularies and I already introduced you some terms like suffix, prefix, collocation. This is really important for you if you write paraphrase. If you start writing paraphrase, you need a lot of vocabularies to make your sentence sounds better. And also change the words. Use synonym or a phrase that expresses the same meaning. For example, it's important to start by changing the structure, not the words, but you might find that as you change the word, you see ways to change the structure further. The final paraphrase might look like this. According to Ross, 1993, poor children at turn of the century received little mothering in our sense of term. Mothering was defined by economic status, and among the poor, a mother's foremost responsibility was not to stimulate her children's mind, or foster their emotional growth, but to provide food and shelter to meet the basic requirements for physical survival. Given the magnitude of this task, children will be deprived of even the actual comfort we expect mothers to provide today. So you may need to go through this process several times to create a satisfactory paraphrase. Jadi membuat paraphrase ini bukan hal yang cepat untuk pemula, jadi butuh untuk berulang-ulang sampai menurut Anda itu sudah memuaskan hasilnya. Nah, ketika membuat summary, sangat penting sekali membuat tentang paraphrase. Kemudian bagian kedua adalah reflection. What do you think about the article or book or what you have learned? Jadi dari refleksi ini bisa, after I read this article, I learned that reading is very important, or it's up to you. Jadi kita bisa membagikan apa yang saya sudah dapat. Jadi summary itu murni dari teks itu apa. Kemudian kalau reflection itu you put your ideas in sentences. Dan yang terakhir adalah application. How can this article can influence you? What can be done next after reading this article? Jadi, what will you do after this? For example, after reading this article, I'm inspired to read every day, or it's give me example how to read, how to be a good reader, or after this I will read 1 hour a day. It's up to you based on your own understanding. Tapi ini sangat penting ketika Anda membaca dan ketika Anda membuat summary, ini menunjukkan bahwa Anda sudah memahami teks yang Anda baca. Dan di sini saya memberikan 3. Pertama, children book. You can choose any types of children book you like. Ini saya menyediakan 4 pilihan dan Anda bisa memilih memilih 2 dari 4 teks ini untuk dibuat summary. Dan yang ketiga, saya juga memilihkan beberapa teks tentang improving literacy. Choose 2 articles that you like and write your summary. And submission, there is no page limitation. If I give you page limitation, it will burden you. So I don't give any limitation. And the deadline of the summary is 14 October 2017. So you still have 2 months ahead. Send your paper in PDF format to my email, and when submitting your assignment, please give title. You can send it anytime upon the due date. So I don't give limit. For example, you have to send every Wednesday, or you have to send on the exact date. I just give you time, and please submit. Please finish all of them before 14 October. Here I give you one summary that I've done. For example, last semester I also joined with a reading class. This is the reference. For example, this is the reference. Connecting reading and writing using children's literature in the university or the classroom. This is the reference, the author, the title, the date when it was published, and this is the summary. So I summarize the text, then this is the reflection. I use my own idea when I put in reflection. For example, this is a word reading article. It provides creative idea and serves tangible data to support its opinion. This is my reflection. and also application. So this is the assignment that you have to do. Actually, I do encourage you to read, and I can show you some source. If you are a beginner, if reading is not your habit, I encourage you to start reading from children's book literature. Okay, this is how to access children's book. There are a lot of children's books that you can choose from the internet, and it will help you to improve your literacy. Jadi, kalau mbak-mbak masih pemula dalam membaca, maksudnya membaca English literature dan belum terbiasa, belalah dengan membaca buku cerita anak-anak, karena di sini ceritanya mudah dimengerti, ada banyak gambar, jadi itu akan sangat membantu. It is free download. You can choose any children's book you like. Whatever you like, you can choose it. So, next meeting, I hope that you already choose your children's book. You have your home run book. It means the book that you will read every day, and you can share your idea. What have you learned from this book? So this is the end of the reading 4. Thanks for your participation. See you next meeting.